Your ads suck. Here's what you need to do to improve your performance. If you're an agency, if you are a local business, all the same, and it does not really matter what channel you're on. This is a strategy/tactic video. I've got my awesome Picasso-ish drawing here to make it super simple, and I've got some main points to cover before we get into the details, okay? So the first thing that is really important to understand here is that without understanding these three simple concepts of how to improve ad performance, we struggled for a very, very, very long time because we did not know what to change, and we would change things all the time in the wrong order. So there's three ways to affect this performance, and they're not listed in the order that you change them either. We did not know that. So we would not test against it. For example, we would, or I guess for lack of better words, we wouldn't test against it. We would just keep throwing things at the wall, hoping that it would stick, and that is not a long-term strategy, okay? So the first thing, you have to know what your objective is, and that is not included on improving performance because you should already know if you're working with an agency or you're working with, running your own business, you should already know if you're trying to reach more people or if you're trying to get more clicks like traffic or if you're trying to get more leads like conversion. You should already know what that is from the beginning of what you want people to do with your ad. Do you want them to watch it? Do you want them to click on it? Do you want them to come to your site? Do you want them to opt in? What do you want them to do? That's where the goal and the objective starts. Then when you start to build your ad, the three really big variables are the audience, the content, and the offer. Okay, the creative is another way to say the content. And so the audience includes the channel, like Facebook versus YouTube, the targeting, like people on my email list versus lookalikes of people on my email list versus people interested in yoga versus people just in my town or just in my city. And then budget, how much you're spending to be able to reach that amount of people and how many times you want to reach that amount of people. Now, the problem is, especially where this occurred for us, is that if you're in a local business, your audience is not changing. People try to argue this all the time because we have some clients in major cities like Chicago or Atlanta or Miami or California. But trying to introduce all of these different audiences for a local business offer starts to become extremely, inefficient and a massive time suck because you have a local business with one central place that people can do business with you, which means you have to be advertising only to people really living within 8 to 10 miles of that thing. And we notice that we need to spend roughly $100 per day. But if you're a personal brand, if you're an agency like us, the local guys might just be able to change channel. They can go to YouTube or they can go to Google and try to get people looking for the same problem solution. But at the national level, you can put in those different audiences, okay? And the easiest way to see which one does better there is to just build your campaign in a way that tests them automatically. So like you have your campaign objective here, then it automatically tests these audiences against each other with the same variables, meaning the same ads, the same copy. And then you'll know which audience is more engaging, okay? Then that comes down to the copy, to the ad itself. That's the ad up here that we have. The creative in the copy is just as important as who you're targeting. Obviously, if I want to sell a program to chiropractors, I'm not going to send it to dentists. That's pretty obvious. If I want to be able to help people in Sarasota with back pain, I'm not going to target people in San Francisco. That's pretty obvious. But what's not obvious is the problems, the pains, the solutions, the videos, the images that you're using. And so we have ad creative here, and the most important is the ad copy. Then you have the videos and the designs, and you have the call to actions, the effort and sacrifice that they need to put in to be able to take the next step. and you're making a lot of promises in your copy, in your creative, because you usually have customers who have gotten those already, gotten those promises, gotten those solutions. Next is the actual funnel copy and creative itself, which comes over here. So if your ad is performing, check. People are, let's give that a green check. People are clicking on the ad, right? So they're doing, let's do a little arrow here for clicks, like a little mouse. Then the next thing is, are they opting in? And that is going to be based off of your copy as well, your headline, your supporting copy, and your form. Okay, so those three things are all going to improve the performance of the ads. So those two things, it's your audience and your creative. And your creative is a little bit twofold, and so is your audience. It's a little bit twofold, right? Your channel and your goal. Those are twofold sections. But after that, it goes to the offer, okay? And this is the hardest thing to change, and it's something you don't want to change very often, or you don't want to start recycling, because when you change the offer, unless you're just changing the name, you usually have to change everything else. You have to change the funnel, you have to change the follow-up, you have to change the ad copy, you have to reevaluate the audience or rebuild the ads, and you have to reassess your goal based off of what you're actually offering. Usually you can still go for conversions, but it costs you way more money. So the offer has to have a few central things in it as well. It has to promise a dream outcome, what they really want. So what they get and get rid of. Their problems and solutions. So there's a difference between what you want to get or get rid of versus your problem and your solution. I want to get rid of back pain, and the problem is, I'm sitting all day and I don't know the stretches, right? So download this free guide on how to work from the desk at home. The effort and sacrifice, how easy it is. Just do these 30-second holds once a day, for example. And the value adds, we're going to even add this desk pillow, urgency and scarcity. We only have 20 of them left because we're giving away this thing. Now, that could all sound like ad copy, but that is actually, the ad copy is reflective of the offer. Okay, so the offer is the most important part, obviously, but it's the hardest to change because it messes everything else up. So before you even run ads, you need to know what your offer is and if it's going to make a big enough dream outcome, promise, problem, solution, effort, sacrifice, value add, etc. Is it going to give them what they are looking for? And can they conceptually understand what they are going to receive, what they are looking for, by instantly, someone's singing in my apartment, if by instantly clicking on your ad and reading through your stuff. Okay, so what do they get rid of? Problem, solution, how easy it's going to be, giving them a bonus, a value add, product loss leader, service loss leader, and then effort and sacrifice, urgency and scarcity. How many, how long do you have? What most people try to do is they address everything by saying, well, we fix the entire body's health and wellness. So they address everything by saying nothing. No one knows what that means. If people knew what that means, then people wouldn't get paid to have a degree in doing that, right? Or they try to say, one of my buddies is running an ad, he's going to see this video. They try to say, we get you approved for a home in Arizona. Well, but what's the problem? What is the problem? Is it that everyone is moving to Arizona and people are spending thousands of dollars and not getting approved for homes at the end anyways? We can get you through that process, right? Exclusive access. Okay, now that makes sense. Other people will try to make their offer complex. So it needs to be simple, not complex. It needs to simply state the one problem, a few problems, and then simply state that they solve it and literally tell them exactly how they solve it, because if you're a service provider, you solve the problem through your service. So the information of what you're solving and how doesn't really matter. It's not intellectual property. You basically have a trade that you can learn. The next is giving them steps. You need to be able to give them sentences in one step, like the next best step. Click below and fill out the form. We take care of the rest. Legs up from here, right? Think of it like the flight attendant. Like, they tell you exactly what to do at the moment. Obviously, if you've flown many times, you already kind of know what to do. If someone's worked with a business online. But if most people, only fly 1 or 2 times a year. So you do need to take the time and not over assume that they know what to do with their next best steps. You need to tell them exactly what their next steps are. Click below, do this thing, do this thing, do this thing. Okay? Then when people go to pick a product or service that they are going to bundle into their offer, they usually pick something that confuses because it has nothing to do with the result that the person is going for, and it needs to complement, not confuse. All right, so that's another thing about fixing the offer. Like if you say we're fixing back pain or sleep, then your product better help with back pain or sleep, because you're doubling down on how you're going to get them that effort. And then the last thing is how many, how long, the urgency and the scarcity. Having a total spot, having a monthly sign up time or something gives you pretty good metrics, because then you can always say what the total spots are and how many are left, and you have good goals in your business. But you then also can have like a monthly start time, because then you have a clear start sign up date for the wait list, for example, for the next round. Okay, so that is how to improve ad performance, and it can sound like a mouthful if you've never run ads before. This is for someone who's already running ads or already doing marketing, but it should help clarify why ads aren't doing so well. Again, if you're at the local level, you're not really going to be able to change your audience. You can change your channel, but don't change your channel unless the ad is already working. Figure out one channel and get that working, like Facebook, for example. If your offer has worked before and it's just getting fatigued, then you have the option of fixing, again, your creative, and that is the ad itself or the funnel. It's 2 steps. And then lastly, if that doesn't work, you change your offer. And I hope this makes it way simpler to fix campaigns, because when I was able to understand it this way, I was able to simplify it for my clients and myself, and we were able to get a lot better results. And then building it also becomes way simpler too, because we're looking at very clear objectives to slice and dice the data. So hope this is helpful. Let us know if you need anything, and look forward to the next video. Thanks.